insists on seeing you or no one. I wouldn't take up your time with it, only you insist upon knowing all about the clients who come to the office and won't let any of us handle their cases."
Mason nodded and said, "Right. You can't ever tell when something seemingly trivial may develop into something big. I remember the time Fenwick was trying a murder case and a man came to the office and insisted on seeing him about a battery case. Fenwick tried to turn him over to a clerk, and the man left the office in a rage. 2 months after Fenwick's client had been hanged, Fenwick found out the man wanted to see him about having the prosecuting witness in the murder case arrested for assault and battery, growing out of an automobile accident. If Fenwick had talked with that man, he'd have found out the prosecuting witness couldn't have been where he said he was at the time the murder was committed." Jackson had heard the story before. He nodded with courteous attention. In a tone which showed very plainly he thought the troubles of Mr. Ashton had occupied far too much of the time allotted for the morning conference, he inquired,
"Shall I tell Mr. Ashton we can't handle it?"
"Has he any money?" Mason inquired.
"I don't think so. Under the will, he was left the perpetual job as caretaker. That job pays him $50 a month and his room and board."
"And he's an old man?" Mason inquired.
"Reasonably so. An old crank, if you ask me."
"But he loves animals," Mason remarked.
"He's very much attached to his cat, if that's what you mean."
Mason nodded slowly and said, "That's what I mean." Della Street, more familiar with Mason's moods than the assistant attorney, entered the conversation with the easy familiarity of one who works in an office where there is but little formality.
"You just finished a murder case, Chief. Why not let the assistants handle things while you take a cruise to the Orient? It'll give you a rest."
Mason regarded her with twinkling eyes. Who the devil would take care of Ashton's cat, then?
"Mr. Jackson could."
"He won't see Jackson."
"Then let him find some other attorney. The city is overrun with attorneys. You can't afford to take your time to bother with a cat."
"An old man," Mason said almost musingly. "A crank. Probably friendless. His benefactor is dead. The cat represents the only living thing to which he's attached. Most lawyers would laugh the case out of the office. If some lawyer took the case, he wouldn't know where to begin. God knows there's no precedent to guide him. No, Della, this is one of those cases that seems so trivial to the lawyer but means so much to the client. A lawyer isn't like a shopkeeper who can sell his wares or not as he chooses. He holds his talents in trust for the unfortunate." Della Street, knowing what was to come, nodded to Jackson and said,
"You may ask Mr. Ashton to step in."
Jackson gave a half-hearted smile, gathered up his papers and left the room. As the door clicked shut, Della Street's fingers closed about Perry Mason's left hand.
"You're only taking that case, Chief, because you know he can't afford to pay any other good lawyer to handle it."
Mason, grinning, replied, "Well, you must admit that a man with a shriveled leg, a crabby disposition, a Persian cat, and no money is entitled to a break once in a while." The sounds of a crutch and a foot alternated in the long corridor. Jackson held open the door after the manner of one who, having counseled against an unwise act, is very definitely keeping clear of the consequences. The man who entered the room was wizened with age. He had thin lips, bushy white eyebrows, a bald head, and unsmiling features. "This is the 3rd time I've been in to see you," he said irritably. Mason indicated a chair. "Sit down, Mr. Ashton. I'm sorry. I've been trying a murder case. What's the name of your cat?" "Clinker," Ashton said, sitting down in the big, overstuffed black leather chair, standing his crutch straight in front of him, holding it with both hands. "Why Clinker?" Mason asked. The man's lips and eyes remained unsmiling. "A bit of humor." "Humor?" Mason inquired. "Yes. I used to have a job firing a boiler. Clinkers get in the way and clutter things up. When I first got the cat, I called him Clinker because he was always in the way, always cluttering things up." "Attached to him?" Mason inquired in a voice which was elaborately casual. "The only friend I've got left in the world," Ashton said rather gruffly. Mason raised his eyebrows. "I'm a caretaker."